This is the welcome song. Listen.
We are delighted to have you in our presence this glorious day. You are welcome in this house, and we hope and pray that you will enjoy your stay.
You're free to worship.
You're free to worship.
You're free to praise.
You're free to praise. For this is the day the Lord has made.
So let us rejoice and be glad in it.
We want to serve and take care of you. So make yourself at home.
So UBC, let me hear you say this. You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Come on, let's give the Lord a hand praise. God bless you, and thank you for joining me right here at Union Baptist Church. I am so delighted and so excited about what God is doing, and I'm excited about what God is doing in your life. You are blessed, you are healed, you are delivered, you are set free. And there comes a time when you got to learn to walk in that and live in that. Listen, there's some exciting things happening around this place. And one of the things that I'm most excited about is that recently we hosted an entrepreneur fair for young people. Can you believe that? We have young entrepreneurs who are coming along. You know, we're living in a time where young people are turning to crime and drugs and shooting and killing. Oh my gracious, I just get tired of hearing it sometimes. But I'd rather be a part of the solution than perpetuating the problem. And that's the role of the church. We are always put into a place to help shift culture. And so we decided that we wanted to address this whole issue of young people using their gift. Sometimes, y'all, they just need something else to turn to. And so we have some gifted young people who have a gift to use their mind, their creativity. Creativity was always intended to be released and very little to be managed. And so when you have young people who are creative, you got to allow them to function and move and to have their own being. And so we hosted an entrepreneur fair, and you can see this right here, and I'll be right back. Watch this right here.
Union Baptist Church in Winston-Salem held an event today to empower young people in the community. It was a youth business expo where kids could sell products they had made themselves. The event comes as fears over juvenile crime are rising in the Triad, and particularly in Winston-Salem. Church leaders say much of this crime is driven by the pursuit of what they call fast money. So the expo encouraged kids to channel their creativity and their ambition in a positive way.
These kids are just smart. They're just brilliant. They're learning principles in school, but they don't always have a place to actually put that in place. So I believe that it's the role of the church to give an opportunity for kids to show forth their gift, their creativity. Creativity was always meant to release, not necessarily to manage.
Organizers also said the event helps kids feel a sense of community with the people around them as they're supported by the adults in their life.
Come on, didn't that look exciting? Man, we got to give those young people a hand praise for what they have done. And I want you to know, though, it's really interesting because there are some people who just watched that video and don't believe that we should be selling in the church. There are many people who sort of snarl at that and who do not necessarily support that. But I want to take a moment today to tell you, oh, how wrong you are. I know what you've been taught down through the years, and no, there should not be any selling in the church. No, I believe that the church has missed an opportunity of creating entrepreneurs and birthing people to their destiny financially and in terms of business because we have held on to a theology that we have misunderstood. I want you to know over in Deuteronomy, there's always been selling in the midst of a place of worship, When over in Deuteronomy, I believe, right around that 14th chapter, God tells the people, he says to them that if you cannot bring your cattle from far distances, you can buy them when you get to the place of worship, and then you can offer up the sacrifices unto me. That's what God says. So then what we find is that in the Old Testament, there was indeed a principle and a practice for the purchase of sacrifices to offer unto God. By the time you get over into the New Testament, Jesus is in the midst of the temple, and the Bible says that he comes and he turns the tables over in the midst of the temple and declared that they had made his father's house a den of thieves. We have held on to that principle and that teaching and that idea for many, many years, that many churches have said you cannot sell in this church. But I want you to know, you have to know why he turned the tables over. Because understand that if you don't get the background of that, you will miss the opportunity of being a blessing to those who are part of the kingdom, who may have a business, who may have a gift, who may have product that people can buy right there in the midst of your setting without going 30 miles away to a store somewhere. So what is the foundation for this? What is the foundation for this? Look at why Jesus turned the tables over. First, you need to know that they had the tables set up for sales in the court of women. That's before they went into the temple part. There were the holies of holies. There you can see that graphic right there, and you'll see that in the court of women is where the product was supposed to be offered unto the people of God and to the community. But here's the problem. Jesus turned the tables over because they were doing more buying than they were worshiping. There were some who just showed up for the market and did not even take time to go into the Father's house, as he would refer to it, and worship God. Anytime you put anything over worship, it is idolatry and it is sin. Anytime you put even playing golf on a Sunday morning and not going to worship, hey, that could be considered sin. Anytime you put sitting in a restaurant and eating and feeding yourself and not taking time to worship God in spirit and in truth, it also has us to fall short of his glory. And so Jesus was angered that the fact that they were selling and buying and were not worshiping. And so he turned the tables over. And I want you to know that we should never separate ourselves from God, because worship is so essential. We must worship God in spirit and in truth. And there's 168 hours in a week. And you must carve some time out of those hours to give worship and glory unto God. And so then now, Jesus turns the tables over because they were buying but not worshiping. But then he turns the tables over because they were exploiting the product. It was almost like they took a dove, a pigeon, that was $5, and they sold it for $65 right there in the temple. They were exploiting the people of God. And so then now Jesus comes and he turns the tables over because they are exploiting the people of God and taking advantage of the people of God. I want you to know that in this time, God is looking for people who walk in integrity and who believe in fairness. That when you have been blessed and when you have been gifted to have some of the greatest blessings that God can offer to you, that we are not called to exploit others who do not have. That God has always called the church to look out for the poor and the disadvantaged and those who are the least of these. But yet we're living in a culture today where they believe that the rich should continue to get richer and let the poor fend the way the poor needs to fend. And that is not our Christianity. That is not our Christ. That is not our God. That God always was on the side of the oppressed, the side of the poor, the side of those who were in need. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have been blessed with some means, that God is not on your side. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying to you is that when you have been blessed, God commands for us to look out for the least of these. And so they were exploiting them, and that he turned the tables over. How did he know that they were doing this? How did he know that they were robbing the people of God and exploiting them and selling but not worshiping? How did he know that? I believe, and this is me eisegeting, I believe, if I could use my creativity here, I believe that Jesus showed up to the temple himself and they tried to hit him up. And in doing that, Jesus says, no, my Father's house is a house of prayer. So they didn't even recognize him to be the Son of the living God. And so then now they were desecrating the temple, and Jesus turned over the tables, not because they were selling, but because they were not worshiping and they were exploiting. So there is a time where I believe that the church should raise up young entrepreneurs and those who feel like they have a gift to start a business. And I believe that the kingdom should support the kingdom. I just believe that if God has given us creativity and if God has given us a design and a plan to implement a strategy for business and being a blessing to others, I believe that the church should fall behind that. I have been in a situation where I'm an author. Many of you know I've authored several books that you can go to sirwaltermack.com and look up the books that I have authored. And I pray that one of those books will be a blessing to you. But I've authored several books. And I went to a church to preach in Tennessee somewhere. And when I got there, they asked me to bring books. But once I bought the books, there was an association that was actually using this church for the meeting, and but the pastor of the church did not believe that you should sell books in the church. So when they inquired about where they needed to set me up, he said, set them up in the parking lot. And so there I was sitting in the parking lot with a table and offering ministry product that the people wanted. But I had to set up in a parking lot, and the people had to stand in 90-degree weather coming out of the church into the parking lot, and I was sweating and signing books at the same time. And that was okay. That was okay. I think that day I ended up giving away more books than selling. And that was okay, because you have to respect the order of that particular house. However, the people were standing in line saying, this don't make any sense. That we got air conditioning inside, but we can't sell inside. We have to bring it outside. And so we did that. They got the book. They got the literature that they wanted. But what was the difference? Can I tell y'all something? The building is not the church. The people are the church. And that there comes a time when we must learn how to be relevant in what we're doing. So there are many, and I'm not saying, Pastor, that if you don't allow this, that you're wrong or you're not right. I'm not saying that I'm not starting that war. What I am saying to you is that we have been tremendously blessed to be able to birth people into businesses, and to birth entrepreneurs. And I believe that the kingdom should support the kingdom. And that is what I believe that Jesus would intend for us to hold on and let's lift each other. Now, listen, for those of you who are listening that say, hey, I'm going down to Union Baptist Church, just start selling my product. No, 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 no. There is a way to do this. You must get permission. If you would like to offer product in any ministry, I think you ought to get permission. Then you should give back to that church, because those young people, whatever the members supported them with, they are tithing back to the house of God. Come on, let's give the Lord a hand praise. We must train them up the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart. And so I believe that if you benefit from the church, you ought to give back to your church or the place that's been a blessing to you. Do not be one of those who take and don't give. And I think that you should also encourage others to use the gift that God has placed in their hand to be a blessing to so many others. God bless you. Listen, I hope this message was relevant for you, and that would help answer some of your questions about something that has existed for many, 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 many years. And I believe that my ministry is to break through some of that and bring explanation and understanding, that in all your ways you need to get an understanding about what God is saying to us. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Listen, there's another conference that's coming up, and I want you to pray about this and participate in this. But we're so thankful for the Reverend Kezra Marshall. Come on, let's give the Lord a hand praise. She has a ministry for working with people in domestic violence. And I want you to see this video clip right here.
Are you ready to break the chains of silence, fear, and abuse? Then join us for the Hidden Jewels Project 25, Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Advocacy Conference, Breaking Chains, Empowering Survivors, and Equipping Communities. It's taking place on Saturday, August the 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Village Inn Hotel and Event Center in Clements, North Carolina. This powerful one-day event is open to men and women. Conference speakers include Pastor Christine Chavis from Atlanta, Georgia, Overseer Denisha Hinton out of Raleigh, North Carolina, from Winston-Salem, Pastor Timberla Covington and Dr. Edney West, and Minister Gwendolyn Johnson. From emotional scars and family healing to faith, trauma, and empowerment, it's time to have the real conversation. General registration is just $75. Vendors sign up for only $50. Register now at hiddenjewelsproject.org. That's hiddenjewelsproject.org. The Hidden Jewels Project, impacting communities and saving lives. At the Village Inn Hotel and Event Center in Clements, North Carolina.
Come on, let's give her a hand praise. And listen, we ask that you go out there and get more information about this conference. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And for those of you who need support and those of you who have gone through that journey, this is a time for you to be imparted into and lifted and encouraged, to let you know that God is not through with you yet. Also, at Union Baptist Church, we're getting ready for our family reunion. Come on, y'all. We're getting ready for family reunion. And you don't want to miss this. It's coming up September the 5th through the 7th, and I want you to join us at Union Baptist Church. Here's a little clip about family reunion right here. Hey, didn't I tell you? We are having a great time, and listen, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and don't forget to keep the family together. We're going to be doing this again, and hope you'll join us next year. God bless you, and don't forget to keep us in your prayers, and I hope to see you soon. God bless you. Oh, come on, y'all. We're getting ready for family reunion right here at Union Baptist Church. Listen, you don't want to miss this. On Friday night, we're going to have a Christian dance party. We believe, hey, that we can have fun, good, clean fun with family and friends. And so you don't want to miss Soul Tree Band. Oh, my gracious, the wonderful band, and a band of believers. And so we're thankful for that. And then also on Saturday, you don't want to miss to play Justice on Trial. Come on, let's give the Lord a hand praise for that. Justice on Trial is an amazing play that we as a church family will be supporting and attending that at the Dillard Auditorium at Winston-Salem State University. That's on that Saturday. And then on that Sunday, we're going to be right here at Union Baptist Church with what we call Discovery Sunday. That's where the members offer up their talents and their gifts in a different way to inspire us and to motivate us to hold on to each other and be a part of that great family, God's family, the Christian family, a family that will stand with you through thick and thin, through tough times and good times. That's what the church family is all about. So I urge you to please come join us for our family reunion. We're going to have a great time, and I look forward to seeing you there. Listen, beloved, thank you for joining me on today. I pray that this broadcast has been a blessing to you. I ask that you would sow a seed at the portals right there below. Go to our website and be a blessing to our ministry. And certainly we are praying for you, and we're lifting you up. And please come and see us as soon as possible. God bless you, and I love you with Jesus' joy.
We invite you to make a contribution to the ministry. Through your giving, we reach our community and expand His kingdom. And we recognize the one who gave us everything. To give, you can use technology. Use the Push app or go to Giving page on the Union Baptist website. Use the Cash app. $UBC 1200 trade. Use the Givelify app. Union Baptist Church, Winston-Salem. Let us show love through giving.